Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, genders of all ages, let's get ready to rando. How's everybody doing out there today? I am the Gob One, and as you can see on the screen, we've got 4 runners for you today. We've got Illis on the top left, Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna on the top right, Matt Cap on the bottom left, and Ace 0187 on the bottom. Joining us today as our trackers, we've got Dark Diplomat and Irritable Penguin. We've got ourselves just a standard 7-7 open seed, and I believe the runners will be taking off very shortly. Already seeing a chat calling for the Egaped Insane Log. You absolute masochist. Let's just hope for no mirror in the Hera basement, if you know what I mean. True. Already being corrected. We're sadists. The runners are the masochists. I think you have to be a bit of a masochist to be a Legend of Zelda randomizer. While we wait for the runners to start, let's check out their interesting names. Illis has decided to go with 0. Ironic. Matt is just Matt. Mr. Tuna Boy, probably what I'm going to call him from now on. And I Race Game. Very succinct. And it looks like we are off. 1 Sanctuary start, 3 Link's House starts, nothing interesting off the hop. And a map check, and I think I saw a red crystal at Hera, but I missed the other. Ah, yes. Yep, you are correct. Pendant on Desert, blue pendant, and a regular crystal on Easter. What has Uncle got for us today? Some money. How nice of you, dying Uncle, to give us your last. Bombs in the forest? That's a nice start. Haha, the solo comms. You're stuck with me. Oh, right. We've got Red Cane there in the forest. Oh, we've got somebody joining, though, don't you worry. I am not authorized to be in the booth alone, don't you worry, guys. So Illa's going to be the first one to Kakariko. The Uncle start not really yielding too much other than money, which can be important. Tree pull giving us single green rupee. Oh, the crab giving us bombs, but oh, Madcap accidentally killed him with the bush. Oh, I've been there before. There's our mirror and moon pearl. Piece of heart and some bombs.
Hey there,
And I
Wolf.
believe, hey, and there he is. Welcome.
How are you, B?
I be good. How are you?
So what have I missed so far?
Not a whole lot. Moon pearl and mirror in Blind's hut, not hair basement, and some money.
Awesome.
Some blue shirts in the mail. In the what? All right, that's right. Canis Amaria is also in the forest.
Looks like a lot of good health early on, which is nice to see.
Yeah, a lot of love in the well. A blue mail and already, what, 5 hearts after the well? That's not too shabby.
Yeah, that's always a good way to start off a seed. It's getting some money, some health rather.
Not enough money for the bottle vendor yet, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, they could go back into Blind's hut. Oh, we got boots.
Early boots? What is this?
I guess we're gonna have Fast Friday on Tuesday.
No complaints out of me.
And also, bombs have not been so frequent, so all of our runners are gonna have to. Looks like they're gonna all have to buy bombs from the bomb vendor.
Yeah, that's going to be unfortunate just because they're going to miss out on the bottle vendor as well.
Yeah, but this also, once they get their gloves, they can go right to the back of escape. They don't need a bomb there, and they can actually bonk all the walls now if they want. So that's helpful.
I actually missed what was on the library, but nothing useful.
I think it was just a piece of heart, so I don't think we'll be going back for that. I think the runners are like, we have enough health now.
Yeah, hearts all over the place. What's happening here? Illis heading straight for Mini Moldorm, not going to bother with the dam. Interesting.
Yeah, he might go after he goes Mini Moldorm and Ice Rod Cave. He might go to the dam later. I've seen runners do that recently, where they'll go Mini Moldorm Cave to Ice Rod Cave, and then hoping to get a book or some fire source for Desert Palace.
There's our first sword. Yeah, I've heard a bit about that meta, just sort of that way you don't orphan Nagina, because you can just sort of go dam to Agina. And
Right, exactly, because there's just no easy way to route Agina in. So it's actually a really good way to route Agina in.
Yeah, Illis,
or looking for a hook shot or something like that. Make it faster. Well, now they have bottle vendor money.
And we got the Bonk Rocks here from Tuna Boy, and there's the book you were talking about.
I'm psychic.
Yeah, let's hope
Madcap
so.
gonna lose a little bit of time here on this blind race game run, unfortunately for him. It's definitely a catch-22 situation.
See, I actually, whenever Kakariko is fairly empty, I always like to blind check race game, just, you know, hoping
Oh, I'm
that
with you. Yeah,
odds
absolutely. I'm with you.
Those 50 rupees might come in very handy, though.
Yeah, especially the seed has not given us a lot of money yet, and we still have to pay off our bribes around Hyrule.
Oh, and Tuna Boy checking the ped already.
Oh,
Sub 7-minute ped check, and it's dead, folks.
yep.
DED.
And so now your only hope is Aga, if you want to at all be any trolly or not. But we'll have to wait and see. We still have so many things to check before that happens. Like all of Hypo Castle.
So Ace Zero gonna head to Ice Rod Cave here. That's a check we haven't seen yet. And I believe probably our runners with the sword, I would expect at least one of them to hit front of escape.
Yeah, I'm going to guess Illis is going to head that way right after he checks the uncle. It just makes more sense. Go through the escape, get all the way to Zelda Cell, mirror back, and if you are comfortable doing the dark rooms, go straight through to dark escape, dark cross, and then go all the way through escape. Depending on the key situation, obviously, it could be in the back, which would be terrible.
And it begins. Mushroom in Ice Rod Cave.
Oh,
fun.
All right. Well, that's important. It is our fetch quest. And with Kane and Samaria, I would be really shocked if Ace Zero decides to turn in that mushroom and then hard reset unless it's something important. Because then you can save it for a later fake powder if powder is like someplace obnoxious. And we got a bow. Hobo. So that makes Eastern Palace almost totally completable as long as you can do dark rooms, which these runners of these caliber could easily do.
Hobo with the bow. Wow, that's an interesting sequence break there. So we know that's behind the flip.
Yeah, so we now need to figure out where the flippers are to get those into logic. Looks like A0 gonna check Sahasala's closet and maybe full clear Eastern Palace and gives first crystal.
8 slashes from Illis will show us the rest of escape. Not a whole lot down.
So Illa's gonna save and quit. So not gonna go to Dark Cross to hope for the key to finish escape. So we'll see here where he decides to go next. But Mapcap is going to turn in that mushroom. He'll be the first to know what it is. The question will be is if it's not important, does he hard reset and get his mushroom back? Let's see what happens.
And there was a glove in the back of the old man's closet.
That's important. There's Bombos.
Ooh, that could be important.
Yep. Well, that glove opens up the back of escape now. If they want to go that way and to see if there's an item in Dark Cross. Oh, there's a hook shot. You can't hard reset that.
It doesn't do a whole lot for us right now, but definitely some high value on that mushroom.
Yeah, exactly. Such a rare occurrence where the mushroom actually has progression in some way.
Feels that way, doesn't it? Oh, a big 300 in Eastern. That's going to give us almost Sora. Yeah, true. I guess they could always sequence break the mountain, and then the hook shot's valuable. Logically, not quite yet.
Right, as long as you can save the old man without a problem. Yeah. So there's one of
all these guys.
If he gets a second item before worrying, of course, no light source to do the back of desert, but you really don't want to do the back of desert because it is a pendant, and we know that the pedestal is dead.
Yeah, I don't think he has a way to kill Lanmo anyway. He hasn't picked up his sword yet, unless Samaria blocks do damage.
I'm going to say they do, but bombs definitely can kill Lanmo.
Oof, bomb land mode. That would be something.
I've seen it. It is rough.
So he's using some Mario block to kill the.
There's the
the
lamp. So that's full cleared Desert Palace. So no more dark rooms for Mr. Scruff Ninja.
And that puts Eastern fully in logic as well too.
Well, not without the flippers technically.
Oh,
Bo
true.
is locked behind the flippers, but yes,
Right.
I mean, as long as they can do those things, then yes, we can fully clear Eastern. So we now know where the bow where the flippers may not be. Obviously, probably behind Armos Knights, because you need the bow to kill the Armos Knights.
Maybe vanilla flippers.
Oh, that would be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, without lamp, the logic, the mountain is in logic now too, which does make the hook shot also quite. I love Samaria Mini Moldorm Cave. It's so great. True, true. Yeah, somebody in chat saying that the hobo could actually be the second bow. Flippers could be much later, so. And the first bow could be somewhere up.
Depends on where the flippers were, but yeah, they certainly could be. When they added progressive bows, that definitely made that change.
So I don't believe Eastern had anything of value. Illis gonna have to save him quick because he hasn't sequence broken to get his. A0 on the other hand did, and he's gonna complete it.
Well, it may not have had anything important other than that important crystal that we need to get into GT to kill Ganon. So nothing item-wise, but definitely that crystal is important. And Medallion of Quake could be important too. That's 2 out of the 3 medallions now. So we have a 66.67% chance that we have all the medallions required.
Illis gonna head for that last item in Dark Cross. A0 cleaning up the Armos Knights. Got a bit scammed. The first arrow hit the Armos Knight, but didn't count for some. So it ended up being a bit sloppy, but he took care of it.
The logic of 1992 video game errors.
As much as people say this game can be completely broken wide open, I still think it holds up pretty damn well for an almost 30-year-old.
Oh yeah, for sure. Alright, so A0 gonna check the back of Escape. We'll see what's there. And it looks like Illis is having a little trouble in Dark Cross. So we got there's the boys key and a heart container in the map. So there is an item in Dark Cross.
Yeah, Illis is just about there, and Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna, aka Tuna Boy, as per his own name, by the way, he's gonna give us this waterfall check, which is new.
Oh, there's half magic. That's a good item to get. And just 10 arrows in Dark Cross. Well, there's the 10 bomb start. So now the issue is Mr. Scruff Ninja does not have money for Zora, so we'll have to come back for Zora, or just may never come back there at some point, but we'll see. But now that's just an out of the way check that they may never get to.
Yeah, and it looks like he's gonna go ahead and head to Hobo and get his bow as well. Illis gonna do bonk rocks and probably go up the mountain.
Yeah, for sure. Or maybe that book changes his mind. Because that is where the lamp is, but again, the mountain has a lot more value to it than, but he doesn't have the hook shot. So the mountain may not be the best option for him.
Oh, he's gonna give us the lumberjack check. Get your egg of hopes up.
And that's just a piece of heart. That is not going to be necessary.
He's halfway dead.
So now the only thing I can think of now is obviously if we don't find another glove or hammer, then we may still need to kill Aga. We'll see. But we still have a lot of checks that we can check in the meantime. So we'll have to see. Aga's probably on life support right about now.
Yep. 100% agree. They've got Paradox Cave, plus I believe they can get into Hera too, right? So can't complete
Yeah,
it.
they can
but
do Hera, exactly. And hopes for that hammer. And buy Fisher Price for a shield. Not bad. Now, if he does not find a hammer in Hera, he'll have to come back, whereas Mapcat, when he gets up there, will be able to clear more of the mountain.
Yeah, he's the only runner so far that's turned in that mushroom for the hook shot.
Yeah, so we'll also get early, probably a Dark World map check while we're here, potentially, or not.
Boots were in, just answering somebody in chat, Boots were in Kakariko, and the glove was in the back of Sarsparella's claw.
Oh, and single arrow on the Ether tablet.
The Arrow of Destiny. Not today. So I watched a lot of the tournament, and I know tournament races are a bit different, but nobody ever goes to Ice Rod Cave until they have to. So I'm wondering how long it is our other runners get the mushroom and then turn that mushroom in to get their hook shot. Although
Yeah,
as I look
really
now, two of their
question.
guys
Ice Rod Cave
have the mushroom.
Usually... Yeah, Ice Rod Cave and Agina's Cave are one of those the two locations that are like last checked before you go Aga 1 usually. Agina is more more left out than Ice Rod Cave, but they're both totally out of the way of everything else. But the book definitely helps, at least with Agina's Cave. Nothing really helps with Ice Rod Cave other than the boots get you there a little faster.
Yeah, I think a lot of the runners like to wait until they get the flute just to make it something they can sort of half quickly get to, just by fluting to 8. So Alis must have picked up the big key because he's on his way upstairs.
Yeah. Did not want to see that small key. Setting up the bomb jump.
Yeah, one of the trickier ones. Looks like he's got it, though. Well,
yeah, he does. And that was a sandcart.
I missed the item in the first basement check in Hera, but I wasn't sure if it was an actual item or not. Or was that the big...
I missed it too. This is just going to be a long, tedious fight, unfortunately. And again, because he doesn't have the hook shot, he's going to have to come back up here. And 8-0 in the same situation. And down goes Trollorm. With a map.
So if the chest on the first floor of Hera was the compass, that means there is an item in the basement. I didn't see if it was the compass or an item, though. We'll have to see what Illis...
Yeah, I totally missed that first check.
And Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna
gets his quick medallion.
He had the same thing happen to him. He landed the first arrow, but it didn't quite count, and he had a bit of a rough... Okay, so it was a piece of heart. So that is both items out of Hera. So there is only the compass.
So
sitting
we
in
are
the
good.
basement.
We do not have to do the coffee break room. With Cadence Samaria, the coffee break room is so much easier to perform than worrying about getting that perfect pixel with the bomb. So I actually love having Cadence Samaria for that. It's just quicker and easier.
Oh, that's right. Illis doesn't have a fire source, so he couldn't even check it even if he wanted to, but
Exactly.
irrelevant at this point. But good.
Oh, Mr. Scruff Ninja is going to get his hook shot here in a minute. And we're going to find out probably from Mapcat once he's done with Hera what is on East Death Mountain. And if there's nothing on East Death Mountain, there's got to be something on East Death Mountain that he gets us into Aga Tower or into the Dark World at this point.
Yeah, for sure. There'll be a Master Sword on East Death Mountain. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Or Master Sword and Cape or something like that. Yeah.
I think we can say with high certainty that it's going to be the answer. I think what have we got left here? Nobody's checked Zora, which I think Mr. Scruff Tuna Boys do.
Right. So, right. Yeah. So you have like one or two like little things like Zora that would have to be checked, which Mr. Scruff Ninja can check now. So we'll find that out first before Mapcat gets to East Death Mountain.
Yeah, but after the Zora check, I can't think of anything else other than East Death Mountain that would have the answer, whether it's a hammer or a cape or a Master Sword. It's going to have something, unless Zora.
So without speculating, if Zora has either something important, who doesn't go back there next and who runs Aga will be interesting. All right, so Zora not important with triple bombs.
Yeah, Zora pulling off scam number 8 million to all the
I think if
players.
You're scoring it, yeah, you're definitely in the 8 millions there for how many Zora scams have been around.
They should add a tracker for how many times Zora has scammed all the random players.
That would be cool.
Nobody checked the coffee break room because it didn't have to be checked. There's a compass sitting in there. Took me. I call that room bio basement because that's when I'm playing. That's where I quickly go run to the bathroom. All those tiles are.
There you go.
So as all the runners seem to be covering each other's tracks, let's just go ahead and call out our trackers again for doing the tracking job, which I've done before and is not easy. We've Irritable Penguin and Dark Diplomat. Thanks.
Yeah, I did it once and swore to never do it again. All right, so now Kevin finishes off Troll Dorm, and now we'll go to East Death Mountain. And we will find out if this is Naga Cedar now. Now, he does not have the bow, cannot finish Eastern Palace. So we'll see. Oh, he's going back in. Is he going to the basement?
I mean, it looks like
Oh,
it,
he didn't get the chest in the center.
Oh, yeah, he didn't pick up this. Okay, yeah, he knows now that was it.
I was thinking, like, what is he doing? But yeah, that makes total sense. Check.
I was worried as well.
In a race I did, I think it was last week, one of the runners totally just walked by a chest. It was really kind of funny.
Oh, I've seen some hilarious stuff over the last few weeks. Somebody bombing the chest in the back of Kakariko, but not opening it. Somebody, definitely not one of our current runners, forgetting its fast cannon and trying to do GT and without the hook shot and having to bomb jump. That never happened to any of our runners running today.
All right, so there are 7 items here. Let's see. And one of them has to be progression, either a glove to get us into Death Mountain. There's a bottle, though. That helps. Fire shield. All right, so we have Sick Kid now open for progression 2. Our first bottle.
Blue goo too. That's all right.
Yeah, I always will take blue goo.
We've got a Dark World map check. Pendants at, I saw ice green pendant at, oh, thanks, Scruff. Green pendant at Turtle Rock, and I missed the rest.
There's the ice
Crystals,
rod
5.
and the hammer. All
There
right,
it
so
is.
we got Dark World access. So no need for agate today. And then MapCap will obviously do Spiral Cave 2 and finish off the mountain. And perhaps, hopefully, he'll get the mitts and be able to do Dark Death Mountain. But we'll see. So yeah, with Turtle Rock being green pendant and Ice Rod there, so we probably know the progression will be on Trinex.
Of course, since we've already gotten the ice rod as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, I swear that's a flag that the devs have secretly checked. TR's a pendant.
I'll agree with you on that one. All right, so just 20 bucks in Spiral Cave. So, all right, so now we're gonna see where MapCap goes next to start his vision into the Dark World.
He's deciding where he wants to go. I think Hype Cave is probably looking
Hype
juicy.
Cave would be first.
I don't know if you watched last night's race, but it was the worst Hype Cave I've ever seen in my life. It was 2 pieces of heart and 2 compasses because it was map compass shovel. It was absolutely
that is terrible. No, I didn't catch last night's race, unfortunately.
Well, let's see what we've got in Hype Cave.
Well,
Got one guess in the chat of 3 out of 10.
Maps and compasses in this one, thankfully. All right, the little dude has triple bombs. All right, so we're already in a bad start. Bottle with a fairy in it of the heart piece, 20 bucks and 20 bucks. All right, we'll give that a 0. All right, so
1 for the fairy. If we didn't have a bottle already, maybe higher, but yeah.
yeah. Well, if that's your first bottle and the kid has something cool, then yeah, but unfortunately nothing. And I like that they have the mirror, because that'll make going the direction they're going towards Village of Outcasts make a lot more sense. They can do the digging game and Stumpy and Cave 43.
It'd be interesting to see if any of our runners decide to go the other way too, you know, go up, check pyramid, catfish, maybe hook shot over and do graveyard ledge, etc.
Yeah, I mean, that certainly would be advisable too, because a lot of items that you can get going that direction too.
Oh, I missed what was Matt Cat picked it up, but what was
Master Sword.
Hey, all right. That is the first time in a long time it's been worth anything to go into Cave 4.
So he's all set as far as like technically being able to kill Ganon. Doesn't need the bow technically, because I'm sure he could do Master Sword Silverless. I mean, you need the bow to complete the game, obviously, but he is able to at least kill Ganon as of right now. So we'll see, and he'll check the Bombos tablet while he's here. All right, Illis will do the digging game and 300 bucks off of Bombos tablet. Nothing important. Let's see what the digging game has. It'd be really nice to get a Titan's in here.
Just 10 of Stumpy's children. Who buried those there? Unbelievable. Like we're gonna get sick kid checks here from both Matt Cap and Illis. Oh no, Matt Cap's
And just $5, it's sick, kid.
Yeah, sick and poor. Feels bad. And bottle vendor, right? We left that, but unfortunately not.
Yeah, I forgot that none of them had money when we went to Bottle Vendor the first time.
The destitute kid. I love that.
All right, so Mapcat now going into Village of Outcasts, or we'll probably go up to. It's looking like he was going to go up first, but no, he's going to head into Village of Outcasts first, complete that, and probably full clear Thieves Town while he's here.
Yeah, it looks like the other 5-6 is that swamp. That's what we missed
So
on the
there's
other
Keen
map.
of Berna.
Oh, the only way for me to kill blind with my skill level. Beautiful. Gotta love that.
I can get through the first phase and a half, and then all things
Yeah,
out the
me
window
too.
after that.
Script? What script?
Yeah. That's why they're there and we're not. All right, there's Powder. All right, so that opens up Magic Bat now. So let's see what we need now to be able to get through the rest of the game. We can full clear Pod. We need Flippers for Swamp. We need Fire Rod for Skull Woods. And we need the Flute and potential Medallion for Misery Mire.
And we know the flippers are out there somewhere. We're going to need to get them because of that flipper lock bow and pod.
Or potential
being
Flipper Lock Bow.
Well, I suppose that's true. That could have been the second bow.
We still,
not quite
yeah, we still could get a second bow. There's the Tempered Sword.
Oh, wow.
Behind Magic Bat. So that will make the Ganon fight much easier. And A0 gonna pick up Kiki the Extortionist. So Mrs. Scruff Ninja not gonna check the pyramid. Gonna go straight to Pod, where he'll join A0. And Illis and Mapcat are in Village of Outcast.
Nothing so far in Thieves Town that I've seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything either.
Now let's see if we can find those flippers sitting in Pod here, right?
Yeah, Pod's always jam-packed full of stuff, so. And having kind of burn if something does go terribly wrong in the blind fight is really nice.
Yeah, I don't expect any of these runners to get
Yeah,
out.
I don't either, but
it's
just in
always
case.
Beautiful. Put Spike Cave in logic as well, too, since we've got the hammer.
Yep.
Everyone loves a good logical double dip. We've had one dip. What about a second dip? Always fun. Yeah, Pod feels like one of those dungeons where it's either empty or just loaded. Never in between.
Oh, definitely not. And if you route pod correctly, you can really, really get things done in one fell swoop. As far as like if you could do the bomb jump over to the big chest, assuming you have the big key, stuff like that, and not have to go to different rooms, you can really efficiently go through pod much faster.
Well, Pod officially has something today because there's our Titan mitts for Mr. Tuna Boy.
Yeah, so Titan's mitts are very important.
He did sequence break to get to Hobo to get his bow, so he's going to go ahead and complete this dungeon too. So no double dipping for our Tuna.
Yeah, A0 also has his bow, so he'll be able to clear it as well. Alright, the blind down from Mapcat. Gets his crystal. It's really always nice to be able to clear pod without worrying about it, without having to go back.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Absolutely double dipping this dungeon is one of the worst in my opinion.
Yeah. Only like swamp is kind of worse. Alright, so now 8-0. We'll be heading toward Talmasaur King. And Illis takes down Blind as well.
So depending on where the second bow is, the mitts could be flipper locked, yes, because we got the bow by sequence breaking to Hobo, depending on where the other bow.
Right, exactly. But from what we know right now, the mitts are behind the bow, which is behind the flippers.
Yeah, and agreeing with someone in chat here, I don't think there's any chance Illis goes to desert and gets his lamp now, which really shouldn't hinder him too badly, unless that's the only fire source given throughout the game. Because oh no, Skullwoods is I thought it was a pendant for some reason. It's a dungeon, so we'll get that fire out eventually somewhere.
And now we could, I mean, not that we want to go into Ice Palace, but we could do parts of Ice Palace if we wanted to go there without a flippers. But again, there's no reason to because it's a pendant and we know the pendant's dead. And it's not like it's green pendant where it could be worth it to go through.
Yep, I mean, at this point, there's a good chance we can get into Turtle Rock too. Well, two of our runners have the Quake Medallion off of the Armos Knights. We've got the Cane and Titan's Mitts now for them, so the pendant dungeons are available, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. They're all available now.
Fire Rod in Skullwoods, of course.
We've seen that before.
Yes, we have quite a bit lately, and that's going to be nice for Illis. That's his fire source, only fire source of the game, and that's going to allow him to go ahead and just take care of the dirty maw. Matt Cap didn't want to leave 10 of Stumpy's children sitting on the ground there. He's a nice guy.
Alright, down goes Helmosaur King for A0. Oh, there's a flute. Okay, wow. So that gives us access to Misery Mire. We don't know if we can get in, but we can get access to it.
So another potentially flipper locked item, because you obviously need the bow to complete this bow locked pop.
All right, so now we know where Shovel is on the pyramid. I missed that. I didn't know where they had gotten it. So now we know Pod is pretty stacked today with both Titan Smiths and Flute that you need to complete this season.
Did you say Shovel was on the
Mothula fight? Holy moly!
Wow, that was impressive.
Blink and he's dead.
Oh yeah, I missed the Shovel on the pyramid. Okay, yeah, maybe that's our flippers.
Yeah, we're kind of like running out of places the flippers can be. Looks like Map Cat is heading towards uh
He's gonna head to Catfish.
yeah, Cafe.
And I don't believe he did Zora, so he may mirror over. I could be wrong. Oh, somebody, A0 got the flippers, but I missed where it was. Look at our trackers just being totally on track. They were on the shovel. I called it. All right. So yeah, that puts everything back into logic because we had the hammer. We could have easily run up the pyramid, gotten the flippers, which would have gotten us the bow and the mitts and the flute. So we're back. We're back in logic book. Ace Zero releasing the duck. I don't have any funny puns, guys. I'm sorry. He released the geek. Let's go. So let's take a look at our item set for everybody. Let's see. What do we need for Gomo? I think we might be in no mode. We've got Fire Rod in Skull Woods. Flippers. We're on the dig spot. And so it just potentially Meyer Medallion. And really, we've got a 2/3 chance to be able to get in. And I mean, if it's not, it's just going to be a Meyer shed anyway. So I would say we are in no mode, sir.
Yeah, we yeah, depending on what the medallion is, absolutely we could be in no mode. But we'll have to wait until somebody flutes over there and tells us what's there. And there's the second item in Skull Woods, just $20.
Oh, wow. Illis gets the Kern jump on the first try. Very impressive, actually.
Yeah, that's not an easy thing to do.
Not at all. This is going to be really good for Illis if he makes his way to Catfish, down to the pyramid, gets a shovel. That's going to push him to get the flippers. Bow, make his way back into to where he needs to be. That sequence break of the bow was could have been quite important by the end of this game, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because then you would have had a double dip pod potentially.
Yeah, Eastern as well too.
Although knowing where they are, you don't technically have to bow. That's the aftermath of everything.
Unfortunately, Ace is still on Fighter Sword here. He does have half magic though in the Fire Rod, so Moth won't be too bad. But Fighter Sword Mothula is a scary thing, in my opinion.
For sure. He does have Hammer too, which will help. But the Hammer hitbox is creepily hard to do.
Yeah, I'm very impressed by people who do the Hammer Moth, especially when you're looking up like this. The hitbox is immaculately small.
Yeah, exactly.
Really well done, though.
Yeah, so everybody picking up that shovel, which is good.
So all 3 fetch quests today were important. The mushroom had hookshot, right? I guess the powder wasn't quote unquote important, but it had a sword, and now the shovel has the flippers. So that's, I think, the first time I've ever seen that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, But that third sword makes such a difference on Ganon, though. It makes it so much easier. So I would say it's an important sword upgrade. Between Master Sword and Tempered, it's a huge difference on Ganon.
Ace is in the Mire Shed, so he may have checked the Mire medallion and we missed it, but we'll get to see here. Nothing in the shed, so here's sort of our no mode or not.
He does not want it. He must have it.
He's going in, so.
All right, so we are officially in no mode. We know where everything is to beat the seed.
Speaking of Fighter Sword awful things, Fighter Sword Mire is not fun.
Yeah, so the only thing that A0 needs is a sword now to be in go mode officially. But he can now clear all the dungeons. And this is an awesome seed that I would love to see more often. No Turtle Rock, no Ice Palace. At all.
I'm with you on that one.
Step foot in either one of them.
Yeah, somebody send me the link for this seed because I just want to play this one over and over. If all my randos be like this one, I'd be happy. And yeah, you're right. A0 is in sword mode.
So if he finds a Master Sword somewhere, he's not gonna. He may not go to the powder location, which he doesn't have anyway. But he may not go to Key 45 and get that other sword. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting because those aren't on the way checks, right? Powder and K45.
Yeah, they're not, unfortunately, at this point.
Yeah, he may just hit GT hoping for a sword there, which he may get.
Yeah.
He may climb the gauntlet with Fighter Sword. Now that, of all the Fighter Sword things I've talked about, that's the worst. Yeah, Ace doesn't actually have the powder, so that's off the table right now. I'm not sure where the powder was. I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember where it was. I think it was in the Bombable Hut in Village of Outcast?
I think you're right, yeah.
Could be wrong.
So let's do a quick inventory check of individual runners and see what they need for go mode. So Illis obviously needs his bow and his flute, which he should get here off of Helm's. Oh no, he can't. Obviously, he's not going to get the flute. He can't finish pod without the bow.
Right, he can't finish pod.
So he needs to turn in his shovel to get his flippers, then find his bow and come back and complete.
Yeah, it's going to be an unfortunate double dip for him.
Scruff needs his flippers. And I believe that's it. And a sword as well.
Yep.
A0 we already talked about is in sword mode. He needs to find a sword. And Matt Cap looks like he's in the same boat as Illis.
Yeah, they've kind of been following each other, haven't they? Scruff and Ace have been following each other, and so is Illis and Mapcap. Really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the two runners that sequence broke to get the bow, have been basically right behind each other, and the two that didn't have same idea on their side. So sequence breaking that bow was really huge to this seed, honestly. It looks like anyway. And somebody in the chat saying there's a sword on Lake Hylia. I didn't see that, and if that's where our fourth sword is and Ace doesn't know, he could go quite a far. He could go all the way up the gauntlet without actually getting his sword, so.
That would be quite unfortunate, but he certainly could do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure which runner even made that check because I missed it, so I'm not sure if Ace knows or not. But if he doesn't, that's 3 out-of-the-way checks that I don't think that he would check. He would just go into GT thinking, yeah, the second sword's in there.
Yep.
Wow, Illis checked it. Okay, thanks. Tracker love. Look at those trackers. Man, they...
Yeah, where would we
nice
be
that they pay attention. we would just be two babbling idiots, no doubt about it.
I tend to agree with you on that one. All right, so this is gonna be a ridiculous fight here.
Oh my god! This is
Oh,
the fighter sword vidi. If you want to know how to do fighter sword vitreous, this is the strat. Bomb till you're out, arrows, and hope you got an.
yep.
And he didn't pick up Burna either, so he can't. Although I don't think that actually damages the eyeballs, does it? I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't want to die here either.
Yeah, he's doing fighter sword spins. I do think though that he has two bottles, and I'm pretty sure they're blue goo and a fairy, so he'll be fine. I'm sure of it. Still doesn't feel good.
No. Looks like Mapcat is gonna head towards. Oh, does take a death. I think he still has that fairy too.
Yeah, there's our
There's
powder out
powder
of
for
the
Scruff.
vulnerable hut.
This is not an easy fight, Vidi fighter sword.
Yeah, I would love to see someone time it because I think fighter sword vitreous is probably almost as long as like master sword silverless Ganon. It's pretty.
It's possible, yeah. All right, well, he's through the hardest phase, and now it's just the big eyeball, which he could kill to death.
Well done. All right, so Illus is going to get his flippers, and Matcap is going to go ahead and get his bow. He sequence broke to get his though, so he's still going to need to find those flippers.
Yeah, so he's gonna have to use the shovel to get that, but he will at least have the bow. And so far, it's still the only bow that we know of.
Yeah, this is going to finish pretty interesting, I think, because the two runners who didn't sequence break their bow got their swords, and the two that did are now stuck in sword mode, potentially not knowing where the hell to get their at least second sword. So this
Yeah.
is going to be interesting. Stick around if you want to see the end of this. Interesting race for sure.
Well, A0 looks like he's heading towards Swamp Palace now. He might full clear Swamp Palace, not knowing that there's not going to be a sword there. So unfortunate for him, but
Yeah,
which
we'll
will
see.
allow some of our other runners to catch up.
I'll say, somebody's saying our tuna friend, tuna boy, he did check the Lake Hylia, so he knows where that second sword is. So I would think that Ace would have gotten that sword if he knows where it is before, at least coming in the swamp here. Fighter sword, Argus is another annoying as hell fight, but I could be wrong. He could be going for it after this if he knows.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was about to say too. I think he'll just check chests on the way. I could be wrong, but knowing, well, I've watched Ace Zero I've seen him in quite a few races, and I think he's essentially in go mode, knowing or thinking he'll get a sword in GT or sort of along the way
Exactly.
checks.
Yeah, he's there definitely gonna be in go mode, even though he's looking for a sword, because he'll know probably, well, he may think of something along the way, but yeah, we'll see. I hope for his sake he gets a sword. I mean, he won't get a sword before GT unless he goes to one of the locations that we know of for the other three swords. I hope he does that before he goes to GT, but he may not, and in which case he'll have to find that afterward, and then he'll have a lot of locations to check that'll be open to him.
Yep, there's quite a few open since he's got all the other items. Yeah, so the 3 remaining swords are there's one on Hylia Island, there's one on the Magic Bat, and there's one in Cave 45.
Yep, that's where the 3 swords are.
And just to answer in chat, I do believe if you drop into the Ganon hole without at least the Master Sword, I'm pretty sure he calls you a doofus. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, I think he does, actually.
Yeah, you can't damage him with the hammer or the fighter sword. You have to have at least the Master Sword. Oh, a dingus. Damn it, it's close. Yeah, there are settings of this game where you can beat Ganon with a hammer, but this is just your standard. We call it open. 7 crystals required, and the minimum Master Sword to damage and defeat Ganon.
Yep.
So you could call this sort of the default setting.
I definitely would not want to do hammer strats on Ganon.
No chance.
I have a hard enough time with tempered sword, so no thanks.
Yeah, I was gonna say silverless is tough for me, so swordless, no thank. So Illus being 2 items from Go mode, it'll be interesting to see if he decides to go back in for left side. I want to say no because runners hate the left side swamp, obviously.
Yeah, I think they're gonna avoid that until they have absolutely nothing else to do.
And an hour in, you haven't found your bow. You're guaranteed that you have got the double dip pod. I think, yeah, you don't do left side. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Oh, somebody, Fluffy Mittens in chat says, what if he goes into Turtle Rock looking for a sword?
Oh,
I mean, that's the
terrible.
thing is if he doesn't find the sword and he goes all the way through the gauntlet, I mean, he has a lot open to try to find that sword. One-off checks. And I mean, if you think about it, you want to go where the most, statistically, you want to go where the most dense checks are. So he might go into Turtle Rock.
Well,
especially
the thing that he'll have going for him is that he'll be at the pyramid. He won't be at Turtle Rock, so he might check overworld locations before going to Turtle Rock.
It's a good call. Yeah, you're right.
Illus is going back in.
Okay, so yeah, proving me wrong once again. So yeah, 2 items from Go mode. I guess you
actually he's I think he's 3. He doesn't have Quake either. He needs Quake, Illus.
Oh, that is correct. Where was Quake? How did I? Oh, that was on Armos, wasn't it? Yes.
Yes. Oh, right. So that's why he doesn't have it. Okay.
There we go. So
everything makes sense in the universe now.
So 1 item leads the other. So I was technically right?
Yes.
Right? Give me this one. Okay. Yeah. This is why we're here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say Ace does not know about the sword on Hylia because I think that's probably the best time to get it right there. You come out of swamp, you just run over, jump in the water and mirror. So I'm going to guess he has no idea about that sword on Hylia, which makes the rest of this race really interesting to watch for him.
Well, what he could do is he could clear out Village of Outcast, and then he'll find his powder, which will lead him to his Master Sword. Because
yeah, let's hope that's what he did.
So that actually makes a lot of sense for him. Clear out the Village of Outcast first before going to Thieves Town, although he'll make a liar of me, of course. But that would make the most sense. Where after you clear out Thieves Town, then finish out Village of Outcast and hope that you find a sword, because then you will.
It's going to be interesting to watch. That's no doubt. Okay, so Scruff here is going to get his Master Sword. So it looks like he's officially in go mode. Not sure if he knows it quite yet because he doesn't. I don't think he's been to the mire area to check if he's got the right medallion, but we
He
know
doesn't
that
have
he's
the
in go mode. Oh, he's not. Doesn't have
Oh,
flippers
he
yet.
will get the flippers in a second.
Yeah, he's
I was
about
gonna
to
say,
get them.
yes, he has flippers first.
Sorry, I was one check ahead.
No, you're fine. But I was gonna say, hopefully he won't forget that he has to do the shovel. That's an easy thing to forget about.
I'm
Yeah,
just
he's
excited
about
to
to
see
enter
what
go mode.
happens with A.
And I think he knows
I talked to
it.
earlier.
Yep.
Sorry, I talked earlier. Sorry, buddy.
Oh, what were you gonna say?
Well, I was saying the last daily race I watched with AC was the one who unfortunately talked a little earlier about, he did Ganon when it was, or he did GT when it was fast Ganon. So daily races have been super unlucky for him. So I hope he doesn't get stuck in sword mode and have to go and leave after doing what I believe he's just going to go straight to GT after this. I would be pretty surprised if he spends more than a couple checks just looking for his sword.
Yeah. It'll be unfortunate, but he's so close to one at least.
And so there's Scruff heading his way into Mire. He sees it's Quake, so obviously he knows now that he's in go.
Yeah.
That is the first Pyramid Fairy check yet, and nothing of note. All right, so let's see if Illis heads down here and mirrors over to Hobo. That's going to get him.
He's heading that way.
All right, so he's going to get his bow, and that's going to put him on the path to go mode.
Because everything will be right in the world.
And while everybody's sort of going over all the checks we've seen so far, let's give a shout out to the runners that you're watching today. Go ahead and give them a follow. They put on a great show, and I think the finish to this is going to be pretty exciting. So if you can, go ahead and give these guys a follow.
Yeah, they would really appreciate it. And you can see what else they're doing too. So let's see where A0 heads now. He has all 7 crystals. Is he going to finish Village of Outcast? Or not?
Well, let's hope those couple checks that I suspect he might do are going to be Village, because they are right here. Oh, yes. Go, Ace, go.
Well, he'll get his powder. If he goes to check the magic bat, that'll be good for him.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he's going to, just because it's literally right here, right?
Yeah, and to not have to worry about it in GT.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Well, then again, he might prove us wrong.
All right, well, I saw some numbers in chat already, but let's wipe those out. Go ahead and there's no official game for the daily races, but go ahead and throw your numbers in chat. Just in case I mean, he might go to Turtle Rock, but
He might, but I doubt it.
yeah, I think he's going to GT with the intention of that, you know, the second sword will be in there, of course.
Yeah, because there's 22 locations just on the bottom floor by itself.
Yeah, go ahead and explain the Ganon's Tower to us, Nitro.
Yeah, so there are
Those who might be-
22 possible locations for the Ganon's Tower Big Key to be. In the chat, anywhere from 1 to 22. Put your guesses in chat where it is. If you win, you'll be winners in our hearts and souls today. So I'm going to go with Tile Room today. I usually go with 6, but I'm going to go with Tile Room
Ooh,
just because
yeah.
it sounds better today. But we'll see.
That's
There's the other bow.
Oh, there's silvers. Oh, wow.
That's not what he wanted. Super Bunny Cave has silvers.
My guess is 14. I always pick 14.
So that technically speaking, you could have gotten that earlier because you had the Titans miss. You could have gotten that earlier. You did not necessarily have to get the one from Hobo.
Oh, wow. So those, yeah, the hobo wasn't, all that stuff wasn't technically Flipper's Lock. Wow. Interesting seed. Very.
Oh, right. I'm not going to help him, though. And he's checking these locations and not the ones where he was 10 seconds ago. That's things I don't understand.
It looked like for a half second he was gonna head to TR, but no, here we go, folks. So last seconds to get your guesses in for the big key in Ganon's Tower. And silvers were in Super Bunny Cave. The wrong kind of offensive upgrade you're looking for there.
Yeah, most likely nobody else is getting silver, so I don't want to say definitely not, but it's highly unlikely.
Yeah, everybody else
being go starting on the right side. Number 1, 20 bucks. Number 2, small key. He's going to continue to the right.
For those wondering why Ace is in Ganon's Tower with a fighter sword, the other 3 sword locations are the Magic Powder, the Bat has a sword, K45, or South of the Grove, some people call it, and Hylia Island. And he did not check any of those along the way. He's unaware of the Hylia Island sword and didn't check the other 2 locations up.
Yeah, and it's just going to be unfortunate. All right, chest number 3 coming up. 300 bucks. 4, compass. 5, heart container. 6, big key. I would have had it today, I guess.
All right, look at you.
But I went with Tile Room because I don't know. I wanted to change it up for once, but it is number 6. If you put number 6 in the chat, congratulations, you have won our hearts and souls.
Unfortunately, no one on the internet in our chat picked number 6 today.
Oh, that's crazy.
Feels bad. You would have won. You should have won.
I should have gone with what I always go with. Anyway, well, he has to continue going because he still doesn't have a sword. And this could be one of those rare occasions where A0 checks all of Ganon's Tower, including a Tile Room. So we may find out what's in Tile Room anyway. Despite him not needing to, he could be heading into Tile Room anyway.
Oh, he's gonna have to. There's no way he's gonna leave GT without checking that. I think I would be shocked if he leaves.
And not only that, we'll get the rare opportunity of checking the big chest. So we'll find out what's in that today too.
Okay. So a few people guessed 6 before we unofficially started the game. So Jeeves MK2, maybe I said that wrong, and Fluffy Mittens, both of you guessed 6 unofficially before the game started. So here's your 37 seconds of Twitch chat fame. Go.
All right, so
And the rest of our runners are in go mode, so they're going to quickly finish off the dungeons they need to head to GT with the swords they need. So it's going to be interesting to see how long it takes Ace to find his single sword.
all right, so still checking chest. Not gonna find a sword though.
To answer your question, chat, we know for sure there is not a sword in Ganon's tower. The other 3 swords are in overworld location checks.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just unfortunate where things were that he just didn't get a sword this time.
He was close. He found the magic powder in the village of Outcast. He was close. He just had to mirror over and do the bat, but he decided to save and quit instead.
Yeah, and again, my only question, and we'll have to ask him if he decides to join us, is why he would skip the magic bat after just getting the powder before going. I mean, because he checked Hook Shot Cave and Super Buddy Cave, which were also on his way. But why not? Why didn't he check the others too? And he's not checking Town Room, by the way.
Wow. I guess he considers that just. I guess it's a super low percentage chance it's there, but I'm surprised.
Yeah, but at this point, if it's not elsewhere in the tower, it's which it won't be, but
And
maybe
Scruff's actually going to
I
mirror
can't
to
even
get his.
answer you on that one.
So we can play another sort of guessing game. I think he's going to have time to check overworld checks before one of our other runners with their swords make their way to Ganon. So maybe if you guys are interested, you can guess which sword he's going to find. The one on the island, the one on K45 or south of the Grove, or the magic path.
So yeah, so Illis just needs to clear out Misery Mire, as does Mapcat, and
Yeah.
for Scruff, he's heading to GT, so he's not gonna have a lot of time, unfortunately.
Yeah, Scruff went ahead and actually got the 3rd sword he knew about too. And if he checks Super Bunny, he's gonna have silvers. I don't know that he'll check Super Bunny now that he got the tempered. I think he's just gonna go straight to GT, but we'll find out pretty shortly.
Yeah, it's kind of on his way though. He's gonna kind of like walk right past it. Oh, he was gonna walk right past it, but he's going through the light world, so he's gonna use the TR portal. So probably not then.
Yeah, I think he would have checked it. Yeah, if he didn't get the 3rd sword. I mean, he knew where the 3rd sword was, so he might have always been planning to take this route and just go straight once he got it anyway. But yeah, I think if he didn't get the sword, I think there's definitely a case for checking that Super Bunny. Yeah. Oh, he is going to check it. Wow. Okay. Good for him, though.
He will have silvers.
Yeah,
so tempered and silver. So his Ganon fight will be easier than normal.
So seeing that, yeah, I think it's Scruff's race to lose at this point.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Probably 3 minutes now, 3 or 4 minutes behind Ace, I would say, in terms of where he is. If he goes full right and gets his big key quick too, I think it's his to lose. But we'll see. It's going to be close either way.
Even if he goes full left and fully checks everything, I still think because of the sword, there's just so many other things that Ace has to check, but we'll see. I mean, see what Scruff does here. But it's definitely his race to lose. And he is starting on the right, so let's see.
Yeah, it just depends on if where Ace goes, right? He could go directly his first check and find the sword, or he could tip TR, unfortunately, because he's right here, so...
Right. The only problem for him is going to be that TR, he's going to have to climb the mountain all over again.
Oh, right. I keep forgetting that he gets... Yeah. How do I forget that?
Yeah, it's one of the sad things about beating Aga 2 is that you're brought back to the pyramid. So, yeah. It is unfortunate.
So let's try to think. What's the closest check when you get dropped off at the pyramid? You run down the pyramid, you run out. There's Pod, which he's already done.
So the first
probably the Lake Hylia
would be, yeah, Lake Hylia.
And I mean, even if he doesn't find it there, right? I don't think he expects to. He'd be maybe heading for ice, something like that. So
yeah, unfortunately,
he may get it right away.
Well, there's the mirror shield. All right, so Scruff has his big key. We'll start hitting up the gauntlet now. We have seen for the first time in a long time a full clear of GT minus top.
And not to forget about Illis here. He's not too far behind Scruff. He's got to get his big key, you know, in the same order that the other guys did, but possible execution issues withstanding, he could be in this race as well, too. He did not stop for silvers, though. That's going to lose him some time on the Ganon fight. But he's definitely not out of it yet.
Nope. No, definitely not. Well, if he didn't find a sword, where is he going? He beat Aga 2. Where is he going to go?
It looks like Illis went left, so putting himself a little further behind. Oh, looks like he's gonna mirror and go right.
He's heading to Hylia, looks like. Oh no. Is he gonna do the big bomb first? Yeah. He's gonna do Pyramid Fairy first.
I guess technically this is the closest check, and it's 2 items, right? So this totally makes sense.
Exactly.
Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna on his Lammo fight. He's probably about 2-ish, maybe 3 minutes away from hitting his Ganon fight. This is going to be so interesting.
And then Illis has no silver, so he'll be doing tempered silverless at this point. And Mapcat will be doing tempered silverless at this point too. Alright, so did not find a sword for his 0. Where is he going? If he goes to Lake Hylia Island, he can go straight to Ganon. Oh, he's not. Where are you going, Ace? Alright, he's gonna check he's gonna check Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb.
Yeah, unfortunately he's going the complete opposite way that he needs to go. Obviously we can't fault him for that because we know where the swords are. He has no idea. So
yeah, that's the benefit of being up here in the commentator's booth. We know where all of the stuff is. He does not. So yeah. next. The question is, where does he go after? And Scruff about to get to Aga 2. Illa's starting his climb. Mapcat not that far away at this point. But Ace still obviously no sword, so the question is where does he go next? If he goes to Magic Bat or towards that area, he will get a sword. He's getting closer and closer to Magic Bat potentially. Or south of Grove. He can do that one.
He's gonna check Bumper Cave. Yeah, he's going
check
just
everything on his way.
Yeah, unfortunately, he just decided to go the wrong way around the continent. Right, if he had gone clockwise, he would have found that sword on the island. But he chose the other way, which unfortunately is going to put them all at the end of his path.
Yep.
And Scruff
down goes
finishes off.
Aga 2 for Scruff. He will get into his Ganon fight. And right now, again, A0 still looking for that sword. Oh, and he passed the Magic Bat. Walks right past it.
Well, he's going to grab the Smith first. Oh no. Wait, did he forget Dig Game?
I guess he didn't.
Oh no, so unfortunate. So unfortunate.
You know what? You can't fault him for it. But hopefully he'll do the Smiths next, which would put him in Magic Bat location. But let's see. But he'll still be doing Master Sword Ganon, whereas Scruff is doing Tempered Ganon. And it's such a different fight. It's just such an easier fight.
Yeah, at this point, it's going to take a Ganon fall or something to even this up. So it's in Scruff's hands to win. He's a very capable runner. I've seen him quite a few times.
I think even if Scruff were to fall right now, I still don't think Ace could catch up at this point because, again, the Tempered Sword versus Master Sword is such a vast difference in how the hits go. Yeah, I don't think it would be enough. But Scruff on to phase 3. Just needs a couple more hits here. We'll go into phase 4. Get ready to finish the seat up.
He's only got one heart, but I believe he has both safeties as well. The fairy and the blue goo.
I hope so. All right, so he's going to turn in the Smiths first for Ace. Is he? He's got to do Magic Bat next, I would think.
I think his portal's in the way. I don't think he can get around it. He'll have to mirror. Ah, smart.
Oh, he is going to get the Magic Bat, so, and he's going to kick himself because he was right here a little while ago. So he's definitely going to kick himself in about 13 seconds because he could have had this before going up GT. And
there it is.
There goes Ganon for Scruff. And assuming he goes over that little 3x5 bridge, he'll be first on our restream. So get your GGs in chat for Mr. Scruff Ninja. And he does
go anywhere.
First on our restream with an official time of 1 hour, 25 minutes and 14 seconds. And not only that, he finishes first overall on our runner.
Looks like, well, I've got the SRL up here, and it looks like Dragon Strike 1988 beat him by about 30 seconds. 124.46.
See that one.
It just popped up, so yeah, I didn't see it either. It just popped up on the. Still a very good race, and it looks like we're going to go ahead. Don't go anywhere because we've still got a race for second place here between A0 and Illa. While we wait for them to finish Ganon, we do have Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna, aka Tuna Boy, with us in the chat. GG, Scruff.
Yeah, GG's.
GG. That was a fun seed. And I apologize for the weird sword slashes through that climb. This last week, I accidentally sliced off the tip of my thumb prepping dinner, and I have an eye buffalo. And there's the turbo button right next to the D-pad, and I can't play with the tip of my thumb, so I have to use the base.
That is unfortunate, sir. Holy crap.
It's okay. It's not super bad. but it is a pain in the butt to try and do any tricks with the base of your thumb.
I can
I
imagine.
only
Holy.
imagine.
So we've got a race for second on the restream, third overall here between Ace and Illis. Ace has got Master Sword silvers, and Illis just has tempered, so I think this is going to be pretty close.
I freaked
So
out
I wanted to
so
ask
much,
really
though.
quick, what I was surprised that you checked and got those silvers when you had tempered sword. Was that something you were just always planning to do, even after you knew where the tempered was on Hylia Island?
Yes, that was the only thing I was going to check. Since I was running through my head, I said, okay, I didn't open up the portal to Turtle Rock, so I'm not going to waste the time of climbing up Death Mountain in the Light World. I'm going to use the Dark World path, open up the 2 chests in Super Bunny Cave, and hope that it's either butter or silvers. Heck, I'd be okay even with red mail at this point. Just something, so that way I could have some more survivability or make it easier. And then when I found those silvers, I was so excited I almost lost my headphones.
Well, if you
Yeah,
want to
that
know
was
where Red Mail was, it was not far from there. It was in Hookshot Cave. There was a Red Mail there.
I was still also thinking in the back of my head, like, did I find the silvers on Hobo? Were those the silvers? Because if they were, then flippers wouldn't be, like, locked just by the gloves. They'd also be locked by Titan's mitts. Because, like, getting into that early pod was just nuts.
And Illis finishes third overall in the race, second on the restream with an official SRL time of 1:28.13. Sorry to get you off track there, Scruff. But yeah, we the whole race, we thought sequence breaking that bow was extremely important. And we thought that was logical first bow, and it turns out that, yeah, the silvers, you could have actually gotten them. So either one you could have actually accessed. So we don't actually, sorry, not either one. So we don't think that you did actually get silvers off of the.
All right, and A0 beats Gannon and finishes third on our restream, fourth overall, with an official time of 1:28.58. Get your GGs in chat for both Illis and A0. And Matt Cat not far behind. He's just finishing up the gauntlet now.
So the other thing I want to ask you is, have you ever seen a seed where all 3 fetch quests were quote unquote important? The mushroom being the hook shot in this case, powder being a sword, and shovel being the flip.
I've never seen that much goodness, I'd say. Yeah, I've had mushroom be hookshot and many important items before, but in most of the situations, it's like, all right, you get 1 good fetch quest and that's it. The rest are absolute garbage.
Had the
Yeah, that's my
hookshot not
experience
been on that mushroom, would you have hard reset to keep it for a fig powder later?
Yes. The reason why I reset out of Eastern instead of just walking up there is because I wanted to do both Zora and the mushroom at the same time. And so I figured if both of them were garbage, I was just going to hard reset, save my money, save my mushroom. But that hook shot was like, I don't care what's on Zora now. I'm keeping it.
Yeah. And we are joined as well by Illis. GG.
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 And we also have Ace Zero as well.
Yeah.
GG,
And
sir.
A0,
Unfortunate about the
GG's to you.
swords.
Yeah, GG. I see that we found a tempered sword somewhere.
Yorp.
I even knew where Bato was at like 30 minutes.
At 30 minutes, not an hour and 25 minutes.
Yeah.
That's when I got my second one.
No, unfortunately I skipped the bone, so I had to do a wild goose chase to find it.
Oh right, yeah, that would have pushed off mitts for a long time, and yeah, that would have changed things up quite a bit.
Yeah.
So the 2 swords that you missed, Ace, were K45 and Lake Hylia, which we were screaming at you to go the other way around the world when you were looking for those swords, hoping you would find.
Lake Hylia, that's a really funny spot to have a sword, 'cause that was stuck in my mind for a while because I just never got a chance to look at it. It never seemed like the right time to, scout that in. And the last time I had a race, it was a tournament match against Koi, actually, that was a sword hunt after Ganon's Tower for Go mode, and there was a sword on Lake Hylia Island in that one too. But just about everything else worked out for me, so I can't complain too much.
Yeah, you had a good solid. I think we guesstimated in the range of 3-4 minutes sort of lead, and then unfortunately the sword hunt is what got you. But it feels bad to lose that way too. But you still did very well, regardless of the sword issue.
I'd have to say I lucked out with that sword hunt. I had the fighter sword, and I knew about the one on Lake Hylia, so when I found it in Cave 45, if I went to shovel first, I would have ended up with Master Sword. But I decided to go Cave 45 first, then go Flute Spot, excuse me. And then after I was in Go mode, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna get Tempered. I don't care about it. It's 30 seconds. I'm gonna get it.
What's actually really interesting is you and that Ace and you were actually doing the same thing, and then Illis and Mapcap were pretty much doing the same thing also. So they didn't get their bows right away. You guys did. You guys both broke the bow. And so it was really interesting to watch as they had their swords much earlier than you guys did, because they checked some of those things that you guys were like, didn't need to check at that time. So you guys both got your swords late, which was really interesting.
Yeah, I could have very easily routed that differently too. It was basically a coin flip when I went to activate my flute, do the bottle check, and go into the Dark World by Village of Outcasts. For me, it was a 50-50 whether I wanted to go and check the shovel spot on the way or start at Sanctuary and check King's Tomb on the way. And I decided to check the shovel first. If I hadn't, that would have changed everything, because I would have routed the shovel in with Stumpy and Cave 45, and I would have had the sword, but oh well.
That happens.
I'm sure something else would have
been
been a negative effect of that.
Right?
That's Rando being Rando, right?
Yeah. Yeah, at least I had some decent boss execution. They took a while with Fighter Sword, but Vitreous didn't beat me up too bad.
Oh god, I felt so
we
bad.
were that was fun to watch, honestly.
Yeah, I think I was kind of happy with my execution as well, like all the glitches that I needed to get around, like for example that current jump easy first try. And I also did like Civilized Scan in Phase 4 for the first time with only 4 cycles, which is cool.
Nice.
Yeah, you had
That's
some clean
excellent.
execution today for sure. Yeah, the kern jump, I was pretty excited about that seeing that first try, because I've seen that take upwards of all 10 bombs for a lot of people.
I still haven't been able to do that.
And I haven't done it in kind of a while, because Ancilla Fake Flipper exists, and usually you have the bow and you just, I don't know, shoot 3 bows into a tree and plant 2 bombs, and you Fake Flip as well. But that was not an option this time.
So a couple points of note. One of our trackers, Irritable Penguin, points out that the mitts were on the bow lock side of pod, so Hobo had to be the first bow. And
Yes.
not to be a jerk, but A0, you had an 8-minute lead apparently, according to somebody in our chat. He checked the VOD.
Wow.
Had an 8-minute lead before checking the
Holy
sword.
cow.
Yeah,
I super lucked out with that sword hunt then. Goodness.
But
I mean, yeah, you can look at it that way.
I
but
wanted to say that I hunted that bow down. I knew that the mitts were on the Warlock side, and there were like, I don't know, only very few locations left. So after checking the Pyramid Ferry, I saw that it's the damn Hobo, which I skipped after a horrible light world, and it felt pretty bad to know that Hobo will exactly have the bow. And when I found the flute on the helmet stocking, I knew I was screwed. I'm kind of surprised I finished as well as I did. I really had hoped that flute might have been, I don't know, deep in TR or something. And yeah, it was unfortunate.
And while we were talking, GG to Macap, he finished 8th overall in the race with an SRL time of 1:35.44. Behind him, Plasma Kappa finished 7th, 134.02. Darkened Sky, 132.27. And Mekon finished with 130.48 in 5th place. So GG to all you guys. Anyone else have any interesting thoughts on this seed?
I was really surprised by the routing aspects on this, since you had hookshot, mirror, glove, boots. Basically, once you got into the Dark World, you could go ahead and just start at pod and then do a complete circle around and clear everything. That was awesome.
Yeah,
it's
I
rare
agree.
to get all those items like that early, right?
Well, it didn't go that way for me at all. My early route was going to Egina, and then I found the book right afterwards, and I skipped Ice Rock Cave, which was the hook shot for ages.
Oof.
And towards the end, I decided to skip Hobo because it was a sequence break anyway, and I wanted to find my Dark World access, so I skipped that bow. And then when starting the Dark World, I decided to go west after Hype Cave for once instead of going to the Pyramid and getting my shovel for the flippers, which was bad as well. And I don't know, this seed just punished almost all of my decisions.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
it was interesting how that one sequence break changed so much, and really what I noticed running it was that you could do all the dungeons in such an unusual order. Like I can't think of the last open seed where I've done Thieves Town last. That's just so weird.
oh,
But
yeah,
it
that
kind
is
of
I
made
don't think I've
sense.
ever seen that. We're also joined by Mapcat as he joins us. GG's.
Hello, thank you.
Matt.
How are you doing, guys? GG to everyone.
GG's.
GG. So we've had some time with these guys, Matt Cap. What are your thoughts on the seed?
I mean, it started out not that good, to be honest, especially that dip into escape to the back and everything that didn't give me anything. The only good thing I think out of it was when I got the bow with Hobo just before going to pod, and then the flute in pod pretty much gave away the logic in the seed. That was pretty much the only nice thing about the seed, I would say. But I wasted so much time at the beginning with Desert Palace, Escape, and something else that I knew I wasn't going to do very well.
Yeah, interestingly, Mr. Scruff, Ninja Tuna, and A0 sequence broke to get their bows early, so they had almost the same path, and you and Illis did almost the exact same thing where you guys didn't sequence break the bow and had to basically go around the Dark World in the other direction.
I'll reiterate, that sucked.
Yeah, and of course, Fire Rod in Schoolwoods, it's always funny.
oh yeah, I was excited to see that because I wasn't sure how many people that would mess with.
I mean, it messed with me when I found it. I kind of took a second, like, okay, now what do I do? I wasn't expecting this here.
Slight bit of does not compute.
Exactly.
Yeah, lately it just seems like you just should go to Schoolwoods as soon as possible and you will get something out of it, to be honest. Lately, I'm not sure. It's always lately been very, very good.
Yeah, I forget who did it, but someone actually went through 100 seeds and found like 74 of them actually had something unique or necessary in Skullwoods.
Oh, Value Woods is back?
Apparently, yeah.
That's good to know for the future.
Yeah, it seems like the overworld has taken on a new life of its own lately, and yeah, Skullwood seems to be back to normal, or to having progression.
Oh, and where in the Dark World was the other bow?
He was in Super Bunny Cave.
Oh man, I almost went there.
I went there last second.
Yeah, I went through Paradox and I thought I should have gone through Super Bunny Cave. I didn't check it. That's
Yeah,
funny.
I wanted. I should have done the same actually. I didn't really want to check the chests, but I think if you don't open TR, it's faster to just go through Super Bunny Cave. Just
Right?
slightly
I
though.
don't-
I think it's a few seconds different depending on RNG. If you get stomped by a dead rock, it swings the other way and ends up being better to do Super
Yeah.
Bunny. But it's negligible.
And hey, it paid off this time.
Yeah, for sure.
So if the other bow was there, then the flute wasn't flipper locked then, right?
No,
Yeah,
that
it
one.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
I
because
still.
you had
think
to
the
get the
bow
bow from the
was still flipper locked because the Titan's mint was on the bow lock side of pod. So yeah.
Oh, Titan Mist was on the right. Yeah, it was on the
Mhm.
right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because that's if not, that could have really bitten me. That's why I didn't go straight to Meyer. So that pretty much did work out.
What
At
was
least.
everybody's go mode, by the way?
Master Sword for me. After GT.
Oh, I had flippers, if I'm right. Yeah, flippers, and I didn't know the medallion. That's what I actually did. Purple chest after getting there in the flippers in the deck spot, and yeah, that was my go mode items, the flippers.
Nice. Flipper Bros.
Yeah, it was a nice item. I mean, the logic kind of could tell you a bit of where they were.
That's what I was super hoping that the hobo bow literacy, it's great. Was the normal bow and not the silvers, because I was thinking in my mind that means the silvers, or excuse me, the flippers would not be Titans locked. So it's got to be somewhere easy to get, right?
Yeah, I figured that the bow would be behind the flippers, so I full cleared Swamp Palace. It's bad now.
Yeah, it is. The problem is, well, you're never sure with the bow, right? Since there can always be another one.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but usually the other bow is in GT or something. At least my experience on V31 is you find one bow in some inconvenient location maybe, and the other bow is usually just in GT or deep in some pendant dungeon.
Another thing I was kind of surprised about too is no one skipped Desert. I figured logically it was required since it had the lamp, but that's one item. And Fire Rod, it was easily accessible, I would say. So I'm really curious to see if any other runners just completely skipped the lamp.
I know I did it because I was trying to put off that mushroom turn in since it was kind of by itself, sort of, and I don't know. I don't usually put a lot of stock into running over there just to turn in the one item.
Just
So-
fake flipper there.
I was gonna say that's what I love doing. Save and quit, fake flipper, it's perfect.
Yeah, and after the first
True.
game of the finals, you kind of just go there. You think about it. It's turning out good lately,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say GG's everybody. I gotta dip out because I got some other stuff I've gotta do.
Yeah, same. Thank you for the commentators, the tracking. GG's to all the other runners too. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, thank you to
GG to
everyone.
all you guys.
GG's. Thanks for the
GG's,
race
everyone.
and for the
Bye-bye.
commentary.
Thanks, bye.
All right. So if no one else has anything to say, we'll close it off. Before we do, we'd like to take this final opportunity to say once again a big shout out to our trackers, Dark Diplomat and Irritable Penguin. They did an outstanding job keeping us on track today. Our 4 runners who did an awesome job as well. Make sure you give them a follow, and I'll let my co-commentator, the God1, finish us off today.
Thanks everyone for stopping by for this randomizer seed. As always, these daily races go on at 2 and 9 o'clock Eastern. I'm not Eastern, so that's bad, but it's always fun to have people in chat correcting us. And again, yeah, shout out to the trackers. Without them, we'd just be 2 stumbling, bumbling guys here. But other than that, take care, everybody, and we will see you in the next one.